What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Three Gun Show. I'm your host, Dave Hartman, and this is episode 279, and we are talking, this is kind of a little bonus podcast. We're talking about the Razor 1-10 and various other topics that come up. So my buddy Riley Kropff came by the podcast studio. We recorded a great podcast that you're going to hear later on, but we had some extra time, and we thought we'd just kind of screw around and call some people, and it ended up being like a fun thing that we wanted to share with you. So if you know Riley Kropff, you're going to enjoy this one. If you don't know Riley Kropff, you're going to love him by the end of this podcast because we have a great time. We call up some of our friends from Vortex Optics. We call up some of our friends in the shooting community, and we call up Riley's dad, and we talk about all kinds of amazing things. So this podcast, we mentioned the Vortex Razor Gen3 1-10 scope that just came out many times. So we're just going to call that the sponsor for this week. So check out their new scope, the Razor Gen3 1-10, first focal plane. You're going to love it. It's at 3gunshowproshop.com, by the way. We have those there for pre-order. So that's all I got for now. Enjoy the show.
Are we going to talk first? What are we doing? Are we recording? Oh, you already hit the
When I say, are you ready?
Well, no, I was still talking.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're excited. You shouldn't have got you all that sugar at lunch. Actually, we didn't have any sugar at lunch.
No, I had enchiladas.
Buddy, how you doing?
Fantastic.
You want to call some people?
Let's call people.
Let's do this.
I'm so excited.
So this is a random thing that we came up with. Riley and Dave call people. So who are we calling?
Well, my dad. He might have a really cool reaction.
Wait, I thought we were going to call that other guy that was all spun up right now.
Oh, yeah, he is spun up. We should call him first.
Okay.
All right.
Are you going to send him a text first?
Nope.
Going hot.
I will tell him, though, when he's on so he doesn't just start saying things.
There we go.
This is so cool.
Hello.
What's up, Garrison? You are on with Dave Hartman and Riley Kropff. You are live on the Three Gun Show right now. What's going on, man? Tell us your thoughts.
Nothing.
Buddy.
Nothing much. You don't want any of my thoughts right now.
I wouldn't say you're live. Like, we're recording. You're not live.
Okay.
No, you're live. You are live.
Okay. What's up?
We're not.
What are y'all boys talking about today?
We've been sitting here. We already did a really long podcast. Riley and I have just been covering all kinds of topics, from just life in general. We talked about movies and things like that, and so we're having a wonderful day. And we figured, like, you know what? Let's bring some other people in on our wonderful day. And
yeah.
you're first to mind. So here we are with Garrison England, everybody.
Oh well.
That's
Thank
where you
you.
put the
I'm
clapping.
glad you thought of me. You put me on the spot. I'm about to walk into the gym. Get my.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you. So I don't know if you've been on social media today, but Vortex just came out with their Razor Gen 3 1-10. What do you think?
Yeah. Yes, I have noticed that.
Does it look pretty awesome or what?
Wow, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best, in my opinion, the best all-around scope for the market. I mean, it's a 1-10. You could group your 3-gun rifle. You can go hunting with it. You can shoot long distance, and it'll be great in competition. The Reticle is what I'm more excited about. The new Reticle has wind holds, and it's a first focal plane. The scope is so that checks a lot of boxes for me.
What reticle are you looking more forward to, the MRAD or the MOA?
Oh, MRAD. MRAD all day long.
Are you currently running the MRAD in your Razor 1-6 now?
I am.
Oh,
I
so
am
that's
currently running it.
That's going to be an easy switch for you.
Oh, dude, easy all day. Like it checks so many boxes, man. It's got great wind hold. It's a first focal plane. I doubt I'll ever get all the way to 10 in a match. However, it's nice to have that option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm probably more excited about it being a first focal plane than anything else.
I do like that because you don't have to worry about it being on like 1 or 6 power, like the current Razor, which it's not like a huge worry or anything. But if you somehow get to like 4 power or 3 power, or if you are looking at some intermediate things and the long range target is well within that window, then you don't have to make 2 switches during one stage, which is kind of cool.
It's less to think about.
No, that's 100% right. Like, so coming from what I shot before, which was a Mark 6, I love that aspect of it, to where I could, I could just dial to 4 and shoot intermediate and the long distance stuff, and my holds were always good. I did have a little bit of a struggle going to a second focal plane because of that. I can't tell you, it did bite me once where I didn't make it all the way to 6.
Yeah, so I got to shoot a sniper match with Adam Maxwell earlier in the year, our buddy Amax, and he had this scope on top of his PWS 308, and he was making shots out to 1,000 with it.
First shot hits, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be, it's just gonna be a great optic. Like, dude, for heavy shooting, just 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor gas guns, like, it's a great optic. Like, 10 power. A lot of times you find yourself over magnified when you have a really high powered scope. Like, the one big precision match I shot, I struggled with that because I was like, oh, I can go to 27 power. And I live there, and I can't tell you how many targets I would lose after my first shot. So I dialed down to about 10 to 12. So it's a perfect magnification for that, for just 308 for hunting, for anything you want to use it for. I think it's gonna crush the market, because it's just great.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think it's gonna be amazing, and probably a long time before anyone catches up.
Agreed. The Vortex. We all know Vortex is the king of optics in 3-gun, and I think they're just going to continue to reign supreme with this product.
I agree.
Yep. So Garrison, where do we find you here? You're heading into the gym?
I am heading to the CrossFit gym, Whitetail CrossFit in Leander.
The place is torture.
I try to get. Hey, Riley can tell you his experience about CrossFit. Me and Jared Halbert brought him here one time, and I about killed the kid.
I haven't been back since, if that tells you anything. I almost died.
Garrison, what happened when you brought Riley there?
I used the girl bar.
Okay, hold on, let me tell the story. So me and Jared, you might know Jared, he's Mr. Tactical Games, both go to this gym, so we invited Riley on Saturday, and Saturdays are like free for everybody. It's usually a community workout, so it's usually more just like movements and stuff. There's no barbells, there's no Olympic lifting, nothing like that. I tell Riley that, come on out, we'll do a workout, and then we can, head out to the range and do some shooting afterwards. And that's what we did. Well, I show up that Saturday, and the coach that typically runs the Saturdays, the owner, was out of town, and he had another coach come in and do it. And sure enough, there were clean and jerks in the workout. And Riley had never done a clean and jerk in his life. And so
a complex barbell movement, probably good for a newbie.
Yeah.
First workout.
It was, and I'm trying to think of the workout, but it was a partner workout. And when we did it was a 2-person partner workout, but we did a partner of 3. So me and Riley he just shadowed me while my other partner worked. And it was like a 200-meter run. And then when your partner got back in, you did 10 burpees. And then the remainder of the time, you just did clean and jerks for like a minute. And I thought I was going to kill the kid. Like, he just looked miserable in life.
What do you think, Riley?
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't been back since. And, I thought I was going to die. There were multiple times where I was just laying on the ground panting and contemplating my life decisions up until that point.
I just remember he's like, we're done, right? I'm like, nah, man, we got one more round. And he's just like,
he lied to me.
No,
I'm
gonna die.
Lied to me. He goes, all right, this is the last round. And the lady comes over and she goes, actually, it's not the last round. And Garrison looks at me and he goes, sorry, pal, one more round. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, I already gave it right there. I thought that was my last round.
I just drank the rest of my water. I can't do this.
It was hilarious. I was laughing at his suffering, but it made him a better person because of it.
I'll probably be back, to be honest with you. I just haven't really had time or the want to go back, but I might be back. You have to coax me into it again.
The best things that I got from that though was the text messages his father was sending me about how sore he was, like for like a week.
It was bad. You know, the bad part though, like we finished and I thought I was gonna die, and we were supposed to go to the range after this, and like I don't even want to do anything except sleep after this. And he goes, "All right, let's go to barbecue, and then we're gonna hit the range." I'm like, "But you can eat barbecue after you just finished that?" Like, oh no.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Garrison is not capable of attending a practice session without barbecue prior to.
It's impossible. No, I eat. So dude, I live in a very unique, structured life. I know it might seem like chaos anytime anybody talks to me, but I go work out every day. Saturdays are the only days that I like go out to eat. So I'll go and get, 3 breakfast tacos, and that's the only time I drink a soda also. So like I'll get 3 breakfast tacos in a Big Red, and I'm going to the range. That's just literally how it works in life.
That sounds healthy.
There's nothing more Texan than that either, right?
No, there's nothing more Texan at all. It's 100% Texan. You cut me, and I bleed Texan. That's how it works.
Good times. Well, Garrison, anything you want to add, or maybe throw a topic out for the next person that we call here?
Next person to call there. I got plenty of topics. I don't know if they're. I don't have a really good topic that I can think of right.
You just said you had plenty of good topics.
Can I say that I'm still angry about Star Wars?
I thought you were angry about. And
I'm so angry about that, and I've never been so confused and angry and not been able to tell anyone, or at least not since I was a child.
What happened?
I went and saw the last Star Wars, The Rise of the Jedi, or whatever, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Really?
It was horrible. Like Garrison and I were laughing at some points.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
I haven't seen it.
It was just giant. And I'm not gonna spoil it for. It's just like, who am I kidding? I'm not gonna spoil it for you, Riley, because
I'm gonna spoil it. Chewie's dead. No, he's not. Like that's how fast it happened. Chewie's dead. No, he's not.
Is that Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how fast it happened. It's like, oh, faked you out. There was a different giant plane that looked exactly the same that we blew up.
Tell us about Avengers Endgame, Garrison. We discussed that on.
No, don't ruin that for me. I'm actually gonna watch that one. Don't ruin that.
We discussed it on our podcast.
I enjoy the Marvel films, so I actually enjoyed Endgame. A lot of people hated it, but I that one I actually kind of enjoyed. I enjoyed it more than Star Wars because I mean Star Wars was entertaining, but it had so many plot holes, and it's like, man, if we would have just made 3 movies about this movie, we could have maybe filled in some of the giant gaps.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
have you ever watched Rick and Morty?
Yes.
You know how they do the TV shows from the alternate universes, and it's basically Paul Rudd like freestyling the whole time. It's like, and then there's the and then Chewbacca dies, but he's really alive, and then C-3PO loses memory, but he gets it back because R2-D2 gives it to him, and then there's the Death Star, and they got to go inside, and then they need the crystal, but he doesn't really need the crystal, and then look, Palpatine's still alive, like that was the whole movie.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to disagree.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
You have to go in and put a spoiler alert at the beginning of this and say spoiled latest Star Wars.
Spoiler alert, Star Wars.
If you haven't seen it by now, you care as much as I do.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You're going to get some toxic
Dude,
Star Wars fans.
I once talked trash about Ford trucks on this show. I ain't scared.
Yeah, I got really upset. I was one of the people that messaged you immediately. I was very upset. I had to have a heart with myself if I wanted to continue listening to the podcast. I was like talking myself up and then talking myself down. I was like, is it worth it? Like how good is the podcast? I was like, should I keep listening? Should I cancel my Patreon? Like what's the way, like how should I handle this?
Joke's on you. I don't even think you can cancel your Patreon.
Why can't I?
Well, I'm sure they make that difficult.
Oh, you're saying like cancel the service? Yeah, I thought I was canceled.
I'll show you how.
I thought I canceled my Dropbox, but it turns out I paid for it for like 3 months.
Yeah.
I was upset.
Yeah, they love to do funky things like that.
You should ask the next person what are their favorite matches for the year. That's
Okay.
a great topic.
Favorite
What
matches,
makes them?
and who should we call?
What makes this year? What matches they plan to shoot this year? Because that's a topic I'm struggling with. I'm gonna shoot as many matches as I always shoot, but I don't know which one.
Okay.
Yeah, same here, dude. That's one I've been struggling with lately too. So we'll get advice from someone else. Well, Garrison, thanks for being on the show, man. We appreciate you. Garrison England, everybody. We'll catch you later, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right. So we were gonna call your dad. Should we call your dad and ask him what matches he wants to go to?
Yeah, I'm really curious how he's gonna respond because he's at
work. We
Well,
should probably wait then.
No, it'll be funny. It's gonna be funny no matter what the response is. But we definitely shouldn't ask him what his favorite matches are. We should save that for someone else.
Okay. Well, do you wanna wait to call the old man until he's off of work, or?
No, that's not fun.
Okay.
We should call him during work.
Okay.
All right, here we
You
go.
got to live with him, not me.
Yeah, I know. I'm like a little 5-year-old. I'm so giddy. Watch, he's not going to answer. He never answers me.
He's probably waiting for you to text.
You're going to have to cut if he doesn't answer.
Hi, this is Gene. I can't get to
Dang
my phone
it.
right now.
All right, who's next? Should we call someone, Amax or Rube or someone at Vortex and talk about the scope?
Ooh. Do you think they might be busy, or?
Maybe.
Let's call Amax.
Okay.
He likes to party.
I don't even think I have his number, so it's not going to work.
Oh, really? I'll
Yeah.
just say it on the air here, so it'll be easy. Ready?
Yeah. Are you gonna cut it? Do you want to type it?
I'm gonna cut what?
You can't just say his number on the air.
No, sure I can.
I hope
It's
you're
not my
texting me his
number.
number. Don't say it on the air. That's not nice. Oh, my dad's calling me.
Oh, is he?
Should I answer?
Yeah, pick it up.
Oh, it didn't go through. Oh, here we go. All right.
Oh.
What's up, Dad?
I was on the other line. What's up?
Wait, what'd you say?
I was on the other line. What's up?
Oh, are you busy right now?
A little bit.
All right, I'll call you later. We're on a podcast right now. You're on air.
I'm on air.
Yeah,
What's
right,
up, Gene?
right now.
You're on
What's
the
up, Dave?
3-gun show.
So I have to watch what I say,
Nah,
Nah.
you do you, buddy.
so I can say, "You mother." Did y'all drop it? Did y'all drop that?
Yeah, we
Did
dropped
that
it.
go out?
Yeah.
Dropped it.
It cut.
Dang it! What entertaining topic are y'all discussing that you needed my
Well,
banter and repartee input on?
the icebreaker that we're using is I don't know if you heard about this or not, but Vortex today dropped a 1-10 Razor scope.
Saw that, and
Can you believe that?
figured that the kid would be hitting me up for my credit card as soon as I saw that posted. Yeah.
He knows that
That is
I don't
pretty
have that
awesome.
much in my account.
I am looking forward to SHOT Show to get a chance to look through those. I thought that was pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and we were just talking to Garrison England, and he was mentioning some of the stuff that I've heard from a lot of people so far. It's like the one do-all scope. It's first focal plane 1-10, so that's going to cover you for all of 3-gun plus your hunting capabilities and even some precision rifle if you're bold enough.
Do you think you're bold enough, Dad?
Oh, I'm bold enough.
He stole
I'm
one of my
extremely
1-6s and he put it on
Let me
his
let me
308.
tell you, it would be lighter than the scope that we humped all over the West Texas
Oh man,
mountains when we
that
were
that was a
hunting.
4.5 to 27 on an
Yeah.
on an RPR. Holy cow! Yeah, Dad
Don't get
hiked
me
with it
wrong.
about like 300 yards and handed it to me and said,
Oh, you're
"Good
such
luck."
a liar.
You don't
You're such a
even.
liar.
We're on a podcast. Don't you lie?
I'm not lying. That's not why I handed it to you. You forget. Do you want to rewind it in your head and replay it?
Yeah, why? Why'd you hand it to me?
Because I took a shot at 407 yards and missed.
Yeah, he was upset. He handed me the rifle and he goes, "You carry it." And then he left. Hey, Dad.
Yeah, wah, wah, wah.
There's
Okay,
actually
so
something
here's the real
interesting.
story. Here's the real story, Riley. You cannot interrupt because if too many people are talking, then the folks at home listening can't understand everybody. So what happened was it's Riley's rifle, so it's set up for like a 7-year-old's pull length, right? So we go running up the side of this cliff. It's not even a hill nor a mountain. It's a full-on cliff. We sprint up this cliff to get ahead of this little herd of aoudad that's got this giant world record-setting ram in it. and we're ambushing them. Sure enough, they come over the ridgeline. I lay down these rocks. I'm breathing heavy because, I'm 37, but still, I don't do as much cardio as I used to. So I got a little breath going there, and I cannot get the shadow out of that scope to save my life. The only way I could get all the scope shadow out was if I had the stock like 3.5 inches off my shoulder.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I had it zoomed in all the way, so the aoudad looked life-size to me, and I figured, I'm on it. I'll pull the trigger. So I pulled the trigger, and I missed. So knowing that the equipment was not properly set up for me, I handed the rifle off to Riley. It just so happens that also coincided with him having to tote a 47-pound rifle the rest of the 5-mile hike to go shoot an aoudad. But he got to shoot it. So in the end, it paid off for him.
I built a super lightweight 6.5 when I got home, though.
Did you?
Yeah. I put a different scope on it. Or no, I put that scope on it, but it's a really lightweight 6.5. Dad, I have something interesting I want to tell you.
But the next day, now hang on, the next day I shot 2 U's at 470 and 502 yards with a 308.
I'm proud of you.
I did get a little payback. Now that was an adult size 308 that I was shooting, not the youth model.
Yeah, it wasn't my gun. He didn't shoot you. He didn't shoot my gun.
308. Yeah, no, I shot a grown up.
Yes, he did.
I shot a grown up rifle the next day.
That's those are quite the shots too. Those are decent, healthy, respectable shots.
Who found one of your U's, Dad?
Riley did. Riley found.
You would have walked off that cliff without finding that U if it wasn't for me.
No, I
had faith in you.
Look for 12 minutes.
Who had faith in you though?
Yeah, you did. You were the one that when I walked up there and grabbed that little one, you were like, "I'm going over here because I'm pretty sure you hit that first one."
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Turns out you were right. Thank you, son.
I cried on the podcast today.
You cried?
Yeah.
Cry.
It was just a lot of things going on in my life. I was just talking about a lot of things, and tears came.
We were talking about Disney, I think.
Disney Plus. I think I cried because of Disney Plus or something. I
thought
definitely
maybe you were
cried.
coming out.
Whoa. You can't say that. We're on a podcast, Dad. That's a secret. I come out to everybody, just you.
That's when we call.
Oh, I just outed you. Oh, sorry.
Joke's on
Sorry,
everyone. Dakota's really my best friend.
We're calling Dakota next.
Yeah, we're calling Dakota next.
Careful, Riley. I've got some videos that Todd has sent me from Minnesota that, when coupled with this story, people might begin to question some things about you.
No,
oh my!
I'm not worried about the accusations. They're true. So
should we ask Gene the question from our last caller?
Yeah, our last caller wants to know what matches that he should attend this year.
What match should you attend?
Yeah, pick your favorite match. What's your favorite match this year?
Oh, I was going to say all of them. Favorite match. It's hard to pick one. Toss up for me. Texas 3-gun or Fort Benning.
No, those are both great matches.
I picked Texas 3-gun just because Dave did the cinematography for that match, and it was on point.
Oh, buddy, thanks.
You're welcome.
Texas 3-gun has a huge advantage for me because it's also in our backyard.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome match, and there's a ton of work that goes into it. And Fort Benning, I'll be honest, because it's on the lazy side, I'm a professional resetter. But when we go shoot at Fort Benning, I don't have to reset. So that's a huge benefit for me.
Oh, so you got nothing to do.
No, I stand around and look pretty.
He throws more rocks at me. I don't know if people know this on air, but I keep saying on air. I feel cool when I say it. But my dad used to throw rocks at me when I would miss or shoot too fast. He would legitimately throw. Jeff Livingood and him used to throw rocks at me. My dad would aim for my head, but Jeff would just aim for body shots when I was missing really fast. Is it true, Dad?
True story.
Okay.
And then how many times when you were a young shooter did you get sent to the truck and threatened to pack your shit and go home?
All right, I think that's all the time we have for Dad. So is there any question we should ask our next caller?
Good Lord. So we're doing this whole pay it forward with a question thing, huh?
That's it. I like it.
That's what we do around here.
What is your most memorable shooting experience? Yeah, what's your most memorable shooting experience? Oh, here you go. When's the first time you ever met Jerry Mitchell?
Oh, there we go. It's always a good one.
That might be their most memorable experience, right? Jerry's a legend.
Hi, can you pick up Taco Tuesday on your way home?
I am getting Taco Tuesday on my way home. Yeah.
All right, love you. Bye.
Can you? Hey, Did you guys hang up on me already?
No.
I like how he's asking the phone.
I think
did
we're
y'all
both
hang
scared to hang up on you.
up? I'm not.
Well, that's right. You hang up on me, I'll find out where you all are right now, and I'll just drive over there and whoop both of you. I was going to say, give me one of those razors. I want to look at it.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring one home.
Where can we? Does anybody around here have one? Can we get our hands on one?
Dave sells them. Do you want to plug, Dave?
Yeah, 3gunshowproshop.com.
There we
you
go.
can pick yours up right now. We've got them on order, and they're being shipped sometime this week.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
They are
All right,
hot off the shelf.
Put me down for 3.
Okay.
Done and done.
Done.
Jennifer's going to start shooting, so
Okay.
y'all watch out.
All right.
Only the
Going
best
from
for her.
Squad mom to trigger puller.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
Love you guys.
Thanks, Gene.
Bye.
Gene Kropff, everyone. So that was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
So who are we calling now?
Weren't we gonna call Adam?
We could.
Okay, is that something we should do or should not do?
Vamp for a sec. We'll shoot him a text and ask him if he's free.
There we go. Yeah. So, how is everybody out there doing? I know y'all can respond. Y'all are probably really happy right now if you're listening to the 3-Gun Show. Actually, you might not be happy because you might be like on your way to work and maybe you don't like your work. And that is some time you should take to self-reflect. And if you're not happy in your current situation, you should just find happiness in your life. Maybe you should get a different job. Who is keeping you to your job? Yeah.
You can end up being a slave to your job.
That's true. Isn't that what happened to you? Isn't that why you quit?
It is. Yep. Woke up when at my last career, my last job, and I was like, I'm not happy here. Like I hate every day I go to work, and I wish I was doing something else. So I set out on a path to do something else.
Look at you. You survived.
Yeah, I got out.
You did it.
Some people don't. You know, it's weird because you think like, well, this is where my paycheck comes from. This is where my livelihood is, but you don't realize like there's other people that will pay to do stuff, and you might like that better.
I was too far away from
Yeah,
the mic.
what was that?
I don't know. I was like,
Jeez.
I had to like kind of cough or whatever, so I stepped away from, or I didn't step away. I leaned away from the mic, but then I responded, and I was too far. It was just a bad idea.
Jeez, you're killing me.
Okay, so I've literally been staring at this meme and this like GIF just going back, and I can't see anything else on the computer except for this GIF that's just going, and my eyes have been fixated on it for like the past like 30 minutes. I don't know what it is. I can't really make it out like what it is, but
It's like a WWE live. It's like a capture from the video game, and it looks like a referee swinging a broken arm around and giving the thumbs up.
Wow, this is wow. So man,
Yeah,
I'm really
I don't
excited for
know.
this 1-10 though. I might have to leave the limited game. What do you think?
Dude, you've been killing it in limited.
You think I should stay there? Or it's like so exciting. It's like when you get a new pair of shoes, that's the only pair of shoes you want to wear.
Mm-hmm.
So like
So there's several really good limited shooters in the Austin crew. I was just thinking about. You've got you, Aaron Hayes, and Darren Cepeda.
What are we all gonna do? We all shoot for Vortex.
Yeah. Well, but have you ever shot against either of those two?
Aaron and Darren?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've shot at both of them at quite a few matches.
Like they're both at Benning, right?
I think they were both. Yeah, I know Aaron was. I don't know if Darren was. I've shot against both of them a lot this year.
Was Aaron shooting in limited
No.
at Benning?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He got third, I believe.
Got it.
Remember, we can make up any facts we want on this.
Yes.
So he got third.
It's true.
Yeah.
Who's second on that one?
Joe Easter. I'm pretty
Oh, right.
sure that Aaron might be shooting heavy next year, though. I think he might dabble in the heavy division. So
Nice.
I think because we were talking about the scope, and I think he's gonna shoot. I think he's gonna use heavy to be able to shoot the scope and promote that. So I don't know though. I might have just outed him. Who knows?
All right.
It's facts because I said it on a podcast.
Yep. We're are you doing the heavy shooting thing at Texas 3-Gun this year?
I was coaxed by someone. I don't know who sent me a message. Was it you? Did you send me a message?
Yeah, probably. Of course I did.
People keep trying to coax me into doing it. I think there's like 2 or 3 people that are trying to get me to do it. I don't know if I'm going to do it, though.
Well, you know we're doing this as a thing for the podcast, right?
What do you mean?
There's like 40 people signed up for heavy division.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah, because the only thing that you need that you don't normally have in your TAC Ops or limited gear is a 308 rifle, because you can use a normal 9mm and semi-auto shotgun.
Yeah, but then I can't see if I can get limited 2 years in a row.
It's true, but
I
you
wanna
can get
see.
heavy metal.
That's true. He's definitely He's chewing on that bottle cap I dropped. Is that okay?
No, that's not okay. You got to grab that from him.
Okay. I'll be back.
Riley, feed your dog bottle caps, everyone. It's not good. It's not good. All right, so while we wait for a response here, who are we calling next?
Man, he snatched that bottle cap up.
Oh, he's fast.
He's really fast.
Yeah. You drop anything on the ground that he wants, he gets there quick.
What were we talking about?
Who are you calling next?
I don't know. Who do you want to call next? Do you have anybody?
You got your phone right there, buddy.
I do. We can just scroll through the contacts. You should fix the dead air thing while I read names.
All right, so we gotta text into Amax. We're gonna see if he can chat with us here. We might bring him on later on the show, but we'll go ahead and get someone else queued up to chat with. We'll have a good time.
All my friends are in high school.
You don't have phone numbers for the people in the shooting community?
Not really. I talk to them on Instagram.
Why did we pair your phone then?
I don't know. You told me to. You said, Riley, pair your phone. Who do you want to talk to?
Who do you got? I have no idea.
The only person I've seen so far is Ruben. None of these people are in the shooting community at all. None of this.
You don't talk to anyone in the shooting community?
No, this is scary.
I
talk to him all the time on Instagram.
Should we call Car Racer?
Oh, yes, we should. I have his number.
'Kay.
Let's call him. Do you think he's at work? Who knows? Well, people have jobs, and it's kind of weird.
I know.
I don't like it.
It's 4:30, so we need to start thinking East Coast. It's okay.
Ooh, yeah. Car Racer.
Let's call Leffler. See what
Oh,
he's up
yeah, Leffler is under James. Dang it. I went to Car Racer. Actually, I might not have his number saved. It's just in the regular text. Sorry, Car Racer. This is awkward.
Do you need me to grab it for anybody?
We're bad at this.
Good Lord,
I'm
this is
bad at
making
this.
great radio.
Yeah, it's okay. That's what they're here for. They're here for us. Okay, here we go. We're going to get it.
Yep, it's going to happen here. So just so anyone out there is aware, when Riley has an idea that he wants to do, he wants you to execute it.
Yeah, basically. I was just really excited that we were going to call people.
And then you're like, okay, now who do we call?
Yeah,
like, bro, you got the controls over there.
I didn't think past the first person. All right, here we go. It's kind of weird that we can talk while it's ringing on like the thing.
That is weird.
I'm actually really excited.
Good afternoon.
What's up, James? You are on the air with the 3 Gun Show. My name is Riley, and this is...
What's up, buddy? It's Dave.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Riley. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing? James Leffler, everybody.
I'm doing amazing.
It's great to have you on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
We decided we had some spare time in the afternoon here, and we were just kind of being squirrely and hanging around. We thought, like, let's just start calling people and see what they're up to. So, where we find you today?
I'm driving home from my best job in the world at JP Enterprise.
Did you like get fired or something? Why are you leaving before 5?
Because I start work early in the morning. This is the thing. You might not be aware of this.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah, so there's an adult. This is a thing you have to do. It's a time of day. It's called the morning. It happens. So I typically get up before the sun rises, which is a thing that happens. So, and the sun, it's like the opposite of a sunset. So it's the opposite of that. The sun comes up and everything gets brighter. This all happens before you get up.
Yeah, you send me a message every time the sun comes up.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's happened. So I get up early in the morning, and because of that, my day starts earlier, so I can leave work earlier and go do chores and things like that. So instead of showing up at 11 or 12 and then leaving at 8 or 9, I get to show up a little earlier.
I would definitely do a job that would let me work from like 12 to 8. I'm not a morning person at all. Caricature wakes up before the crack of dawn every day and sends me a message, and then I proceed to respond when I wake up at 11 or 12.
I got to run on paint time. The shop runs on paint time, man. It's not something you can change.
You got to adapt.
No.
By the way,
exactly.
James just got his name put at the top of the list of people to call every time we do this.
Yeah, you're pretty good. I like this.
You're giving Riley almost as much trash as his dad did.
Yeah, we called my dad right before this, and he was he
Mean
outed me.
Mean Gene is where it's at. All I can do is just hope to follow in the steps of Mean Gene.
Surprisingly nice man for the name like Mean Gene.
How would you think about me starting a podcast with my dad?
I like that. So I do follow your vlogs, and I saw you
Holy
talk
cow.
about that today on your video. And I like the idea of the old versus the new mentality, trying to discuss topics and approaching them from a more wisdom age perspective and from a youth and vigor perspective.
I like it.
So, yes, I do like that idea.
I'm really excited you follow my vlogs.
I do listen to it. So, like, of the few views you do have, I'm one of them.
And you can still roast. I like it.
If someone else wanted to check out these vlogs, how would they do that, Riley?
Oh, yes. I practiced this earlier. You go to YouTube and you type in Riley Kropff and you can find me. Is that right? Did I
Yep.
get it right? Oh, yes. Yes, sir. I got it right. Really proud. Practiced a couple times. I plugged myself a lot during the podcast we did earlier today.
So, as someone once told me, it's okay to blow your own trumpet and blow your own horn because you don't really want anybody else's lips on it, right? So, don't be afraid to self-promote.
Dude, we need to call him every time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
So, don't be afraid of self-promoting and making sure, because if there's always going to be somebody who doesn't know, Dave, I'm sure can tell you this, even though you've told somebody 1,000 times, they won't get it until the 1,001st time. So don't be afraid to self-promote and make sure that everybody knows what you're doing and what you're aware of and where you're at and where they can find you.
Dude, that's
like
100% true.
3gunpro.com or the 3Gun Pro Shop, which I'm sure somebody doesn't even know exists, is listening to this right now, that you can go buy super cool 3Gun merch and rep it on the range.
Heck yeah. You can also get special products from JP Enterprises and the new Razor 1-10.
Which is super cool, and that dropped today. I'm excited about that.
Tell us about it.
We're all pumped for that.
So, yeah, so first focal plane, sounds like Ruben's been running it for a while. And, Vortex are not going to put out anything terrible. They're going to put out awesome products. And I'm excited that they took a 1-6 and then made it better. I mean, I looked through the Razor. I don't own money on the Viper because I'm cheap. And, coming back to an earlier podcast, 3Gun on the cheap, the Viper does everything I need it to do. But the Razor is awesome. And every time I look through one, I'm just like, yep, I need one of those. And I'm sure I'm going to do the same thing when I get to this. But, how they took great and then made it even better and exceptional. I'm not quite sure how they did it, but I'm interested to see it, and I'm interested to get hands-on with it. I know Archery Defense has had hands-on with it, so I'm sure they're going to run it hard in their law enforcement-orientated classes. So it's going to be rock-solid reliability. The first focal plane, the reticles look super cool. I'm interested to play with those. And I'm curious to see what the iBox is. I've heard from other people that are saying it's actually, you think of 1-10, like, oh, this thing's very restrictive. It's going to be, you have to have your head in the perfect position. And they're saying it's actually pretty relaxed.
It is.
It's a lot bigger than you thought it would be. So I'm excited about that thing.
For me, the iBox was so generous, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it never
Really?
crossed my
Yeah.
mind. So when someone talked about it afterwards, like, my immediate reaction was like, oh, like, the iBox is good. Like,
Yeah.
I said the iBox was good because when I looked through it, like you said, I didn't notice that it was.
Yeah, it
bad.
reminded me of like just looking through a normal 1-6 Razor.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So the way, like, Ruben handed me his gun, and it had that on top, and I didn't notice it. And he said, take a look through it. And I thought it was going to be a new 1-6, and it just had a different reticle. And then he goes, no, crank it more. And I was like, what? And so
Crank it more, baby.
And so I cranked it, and it went to 10, and I was like, oh, I see what's
This
happening
one goes
here.
to 10.
And then he looks at me, and he went, shh. And then, like, took the rifle and walked away. And that was like early last year. And so I was like, wow,
Yep.
that was a good optic. Like, bravo.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Vortex knocked it out. Another one out of the park, it sounds like. So excited to see one of those on the range and see what people can do with them. I'm probably going to stick with mine. I'm also, although, speaking of other Vortex products, so I went to the range this weekend. I'm going to go shoot a more distance-orientated match. It's a 300-meter match, kind of an NRA high-power style through the folks at Arms and Arms are talking about that. And so I mounted up my Diamondback tactical first focal plane reticle, my 6-24 on top of a LRP. Actually, it's a PSC 12 since it's the dual charge version. It's 6.5 Creedmoor. I'll be running that this weekend. So another more budget-minded optic that I'm excited to run this weekend and get out there and get some rounds down range, because even in the winter, in Minnesota, we still shoot.
False. I did not shoot while I was up there.
Is that an indoor match or is that an outdoor match?
So I speak a little bit highly, but it is an indoor match. So
wow.
Laugh at me,
Sort
you
of.
son of
I was laughing
So
because
it's
I
a
thought it
heated-
for sure was going to be outside.
you son of a.
it's a heated shooting position. it's a heated shooting position with windows and benches and everything like that. So you shoot outdoors, but you're shooting from a heated shooting position. As electronic scoring, it's supposed to be. Everything on paper sounds like it's supposed to be awesome. But I heard NRA high power, and I kind of got the heebie-jeebies. So we'll see what the whole story is, and hopefully it'll be awesome. But I don't know.
I'll be looking out for those gram posts.
Yeah, dude. On the next call-in show, we'll call you up and see how it went.
Absolutely.
Well, so
I better get back to it here so I don't crash into anybody on the road since I'm driving. And then I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for calling me on the Three Gun Show. And check me out on Car Racer 36 on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, look at that plug.
He's
good
good
job.
at plugging himself. I'm
James
not good at
Leffler,
it.
everybody.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
I always enjoy talking to
Yeah.
him. He's a good guy.
Man, could you hope for a better guest? Like
No.
every now and then, like a guest comes on and just nails it, and you're like, "There it is. That's it. That's
have
why
you-
we do it."
Have you done a full podcast with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did 3 gun on the cheap. I think it was. We talked about budget. How to
remember
shoot
that.
3 gun on a budget. Oh, dude, it's really good.
I thought you did that with Garrison.
So that was balling on a budget. That
Oh.
we just basically talked about travel on that point and like
Yeah.
how to save money in travel. But James had like some amazing ideas for selecting components, for delaying purchases. Taking your lunch to work instead of going out to lunch.
That's true.
Like he has a very comprehensive plan. It was really good. So I highly recommend checking that one out. So why don't you call up Amax here? He said he's good to give us
I'm
a
so
call
excited.
to talk to Amax.
Yeah, we've talked to him before, like you, me, and him, like on speaker, and those are exciting conversations. So I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like when he knows he's on the show.
Always exciting.
Yeah.
Yep. Amax always brings it for the show. Do you have his number there, or you need me to look
No,
it up?
I need it.
Oh, okay.
I told you I don't have anybody's number.
Goodness.
Except when I did call James, his name was already in my phone. So
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
It's 555.
stop. Oh, I thought you were actually gonna do it.
No, I wasn't gonna do it. I'm just being a
Do you want me to call his
Jerk.
mobile or work?
probably call mobile.
Okay.
And he's punching it in, folks.
All right.
Here we
are
go.
Calling. What just happened?
That was weird. It only came out of one ear.
It went in my left ear, but not in my right ear.
Say, Max, you hot.
What's going on, Amax? You are live on the 3 Gun Show with Riley and Dave.
What's up, buddy?
Yay! My favorite show.
Amax, everybody. Woo!
I never win anything.
By the way, I'm still trying to train Riley. You're not actually live. We're just recording.
I really like saying we're live.
Well, I mean, it is the best part.
It is. It is.
We are
live.
we
no,
are
no,
on
we're
air.
still.
You got to
still
stay
just
like the
recording.
guy for UFC though.
How's he do it?
Yeah, can you tell us?
We are live.
Wow.
That was a lot of excitement.
That is totally going to be a drop on the show now.
We're going to have to do that to the next person we call in and be like, we are live, and just see what they say.
Oh, speaking of which, we forgot to ask our last caller Gene's question. So
Yeah.
should we ask Amax here?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and ask him. So, Amax, we're doing this thing. It's like a little pay it forward, and we're asking every person we've called so far a question for the next person. And 2 callers ago was my dad, and his question for you now is, tell us about your first experience meeting Jerry.
My first experience meeting Jerry.
Yeah, were you starstruck?
A little bit. He didn't say much, except like, man, I'm kind of hungry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he didn't really. Kind of went to the other side of the booth and didn't really talk to me.
That's funny.
Well, he's
I don't have very many good Jerry stories. I'm afraid I haven't spent much time with him.
a man of few words. Yeah. Intimidating figure.
Yeah.
Always hungry, I heard.
I heard that from Amax.
I could eat.
So for
Just like grandpa. You know?
yeah. So we forgot to ask Leffler. I know he's got a great story of the time that he met Jerry. So sorry about that. We missed that one. We'll have to ask him next time. But for those of you
Don't have to bleep me.
that listen to that part, James was on episode 255, 3 Gun on the Cheap. So you need to check that one out. So Amax,
That was a good episode.
That was a good episode.
How did I miss this one? I don't
know.
understand.
Like we were saying, like, comprehensive plan on how to save all your ducats and make them into noise that sends a projectile downrange.
Did you say ducats?
Yeah, it's like money.
Is that really what it means? I don't
Yeah.
know words.
Same but different.
Same but different. It's like yen. Have you ever heard that? You ever heard of pounds?
Yeah, like
Ever
the
heard
hashtag?
of Deutschmarks?
No.
Oh my God.
I'm a fetus, I'm telling
I
you. I don't
know.
know anything.
It's so cute when they're
Riley,
young.
I don't know if you know this, but there's like a whole world beyond Texas.
Yeah, I hear there's Alaska incorporated in it, but I still don't believe that.
It's a place.
It's true, Riley.
It's not.
A whole new world.
So Adam, I have a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about the new optic from Vortex that dropped today.
I don't understand the question.
Do you feel like a great sense of relief to know that you can now talk about the Razor 1-10, the Gen 3 Razor 1-10?
I feel kind of dirty. I feel like it's a trick that, but like someone's gonna pop out and say, "Gotcha, you're fired."
Like, no, not yet.
Oh, damn it! A year and a half, and I got this close, and they got me.
That's funny.
Flew too close to the sun, buddy.
I'm gonna start posting all the videos that I wasn't allowed to post all the last year and a half with date stamps for no particular implied reason.
So
Really anything at all. But
the first thing we should talk about is your first round hit at 1,000 yards with your 308.
Hell yeah!
At that sniper match, I've been telling everyone that we've been talking to on the show about it.
He said it a lot.
I have. Well, it was impressive because all those guys were like, "Oh yeah, LPVO, huh? Gonna have trouble in this match."
Yeah, right. Like, oh, that's a cute little scope right there. You're about,
like,
you're
watch
about
this.
30 millimeters shy of a good time.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, anybody who's been shooting for any length of time has probably had that experience where they kind of threw it up there and took a shot and they hit it, and then they're like, "All right, well, clap your hands together and like, well, I'm done for today."
Yep.
Yeah, it's happening to me.
Totally meant to do that. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Well, you all have fun sucking. I'm out. Yeah, but that was cool. What was that? That was the second day of the NPOA, or actually the NASC, North American Sniper Challenge. Yeah, and it was just you're just kind of walking out to that distance, but there's, I don't know, what was there, like 5 shots?
Yeah, I think it was
Something,
like
or 10
5,
shots,
6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, right?
Yeah, and it was just walk the plates, and I was like, man, I don't shoot this good on a good day. So, like,
Love that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, man,
it was great too.
P-dub just sending those 168.
Yep. Well, and it's funny because we kind of joke about the reaction that our fellow competitors had, but of course that's the same reaction anyone would have, thinking like you got like a 1-6 or a 1-8 on top. It's the same color as the normal Gen 2 Razor, so they're probably thinking you're shooting with a 1-6, which
for real.
Yeah, which no, you had a little bit of a advantage there. So
you couldn't tell them. None of them knew that you had a 1-10.
Oh, they did, yeah, but they're cops. So if you tell them to be quiet, they do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, do you guys want a discount? Okay, don't tell anybody about this.
They know how to keep secrets. Yeah, so
when they want to.
So at first they didn't know about it, but then AMAX is like, well, hey, why don't you see what I'm working with over here? So it worked out pretty well.
I like it.
Well,
yeah, but in all seriousness, yeah, it's I mean, it's really exciting. I've kind of wanted this scope for, I don't know, I'll claim 5-6 years. Like, I really liked the Gen 1 Razor 1-4, which was the first focal point scope that pretty much time is forgotten. And like the game evolved to the point where, man, you really needed a 6 power, so I went away from it. But I always wanted a first focal plane scope. So when this one got towards the finalized stages and they started letting us do the field testing on it, I was just super stoked to have a daylight bright, 1 to something, but it was first focal plane. I never really liked the duplex reticle, and I wanted
I wanted ranging features holdover features for the longer range stuff, but I didn't want to see them all the time. So
You were right.
I kind of like that it would go away. But I mean, like most of the shooting that I've done on it's been like in the 1 to 3 power range, and that's where I really like it. But man, having the ability to turn it up to 10 is pretty cool, and it definitely has its applications, but also makes zeroing way easier.
Oh, I bet.
A lot more confident in your 200-yard zero with a 10 power scope, or for doing load development and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, it's been really exciting, and it's finally here. I think we started shooting it like on the fly at, I think, Traditional Nationals 2018 was the first time we did it, and it was kind of fun, humorous to watch, because if you didn't know what was going on, it looks very similar. So we figured we could get away with it, but in those early matches, when Ruben was up, I was right behind him with the scope sock to clear his rifle, and he was right behind me to clear mine. And we put the sock right back on it right away, and we threw it in the back of the truck. We closed the door. And
Nice.
And I mean, honestly, it's amazing we didn't get busted, because we shot it a lot in pretty plain sight. But you know, the 3-gun community's been really good about not leaking it, unlike this last week. But yeah, I mean, we've been shooting it for about a year and a half on the circuit.
So what would have happened if it got leaked, like say like a year ago or half a year ago?
Excommunicado.
What would have happened?
I don't know. I'd probably be pumping gas or mowing lawns or.
Dude, you might be sitting across the table from me doing a podcast.
Yeah, right. Like, hey, Dave, you need like a full-time hobo / co-host.
Wait, so
We have enough of these.
but weren't you supposed to? Were you like research or not? Like, weren't you testing out the optic though? Like, did Vortex tell you to run it in matches, or were you like, I want to run it in matches?
We had full permission to shoot it and whatnot, but it was don't allow pictures be taken. We were kind of careful about. We would look at our squad list ahead of time and be like, all right, that guy's cool, that guy's cool, that guy's cool. Okay, yeah, we're fine.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why you've never shot with Max.
Yeah, that's why I always get
No, that's not.
somehow
that's not why.
they always move right
Dude.
before the match, and don't tell me. I don't know why.
Yeah, but yeah. So we had permission to go out in the field with it, but it was on the very clear expectation that we weren't going to allow it to get photographed, and we were going to keep it discreet. The funniest story about that was probably, I believe it was Safariland from this past summer, when you get to the end and they have the shoot off at the end.
Oh.
And they're live streaming it. Like, there's cameras everywhere, and it was looking like I was gonna have to shoot. And so we're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? Because like we both have, Ruben and I are traveling together. We both have scopes that can't be photographed. We're like, I'm no kidding. I'm on the phone to Chad Timney, who's local there, and he's one of my PWS teammates. I was like, hey bro, are you around? You got a gun? Can I borrow your upper? Can you drive over here real quick?
That's hilarious.
You borrowed a whole upper so you wouldn't shoot it on the camera? That's crazy.
Yeah, and it ended up not having to shoot, but like for a while there, we were calling. We were like, oh hey, how important is it that we don't get photographed? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty important. And we're like, all right, we'll make a creative solution. So,
it's funny. Like, people look at the sponsor shooter lifestyle, or the I guess in your case the employee lifestyle, and think like, oh, that looks so cool. They go around shooting all the time. They don't understand like the personal sacrifices made, because like if you get to the shoot off, you've done something really exciting, right? And now you need to go and change your gear, and at the last minute, just to take one for the team. Like that's a great thing, and that's something that a lot of people are willing to do, but there's a lot of people out there that are so competitive that they're not willing to do stuff like that. So it takes like a certain type of person.
Yeah. There's guys that we both know that they're sponsored by a company, like a gun company, and they have their match gun,
and then they have show and tell guns. So it's like, yeah, I'll let people do whatever they want to this gun, but I won't let them do it to my match gun.
Yeah.
And Vortex is not really like that. Like, it's kind of the joke. Like, anytime someone picks up my scope or what I pick, I don't even know. I'm not sure that any of my scope's eyepieces are set right now. Because what does everybody do when they look at my scope, whatever scope it is? You know, when they're checking it out, well, they pick it up and they give that, you know, diopter a big twist. Man. Or when I used to shoot limited, my Spitfire, I never had a battery in it because it was always dead anyway. People would turn it on.
People would always just turn it down.
And they'd be like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, I've never put a battery in mine.
Yeah, I was like, why bother? It's just another ounce of weight that I don't need. So
Trying to shave all the weight off, especially when you're unlimited.
But yeah, it's been super exciting, especially on the government sales side. I mean, that's for those who don't know, that's what I do at Vortex. So we've been showing it to special customers for a while, but it's kind of it's been a long road of like building up to the launch, and now hopefully we're able to get it out in the hands of Vortex Nation and you know, begin writing the Gen 3 chapter, because you know the Gen 2 accomplished a lot. It's been a great product. It fills a lot of roles, and so it's kind of exciting to take that scope to the next level and see where this one's going to go.
So does that mean we're going to be seeing a lot more Gen 3 products coming in the next year?
I don't have any specific information on that. I honestly don't know of any. There's going to be some, I would assume. I don't know of any in the near future that are coming. So it's not like we're going to drop a Gen 3 scope like every 2 months for the next year.
Oh, damn.
Okay, but like, when is the 1 to 12
Similar-
gonna come out? I mean, the 1 to 10 is cool and all, but where's that 1 to 12?
2022. Yeah.
So I got a couple questions for you about this AIM accident. We've talked about them before, but either I forgot the answer or let's let the audience know. So
I forgot, ever forget, happened to me.
with 1 to 10. So first of all, do you need 1 to 10 in 3-gun? If someone's out there worried about, you know, their pennies and getting into a match, do you need a 1 to 10 in 3-gun?
No, I wouldn't say 1 to 10 is the price of admission. I think respected pro Matt Kupka, he shoots for another optics company that has a 1 to 8, and he was kind of like, to be honest, I don't really use it that much. And I'm kind of the same way. It's kind of one of those things that's nice to have. There's the, you know, we always talk about the equipment that you need to start, but you're gonna over time you're gonna have we call it a gear creep.
Yeah.
Or yeah, you're gonna have gear creep into the stuff that's nice to have, and 10 power is something that's nice to have if you're shooting at, you know, open terrain or longer range facilities. You don't need it though. I mean, Riley's a limited shooter too. Like, I mean, I did everything that I've done with a 1 to 10, short of shooting 1,000 yards, with a Spitfire 1X. So
that Spitfire's amazing though. I'm in love with that optic.
So hot.
You don't need the magnification to hit it. But man, sometimes it's pretty nice. So for that perfect application, I mean, it has its place. You don't need it to play the game though. You don't need a 2011 to play the game. Makes it a lot easier though.
Sure.
You know.
Okay, so another question I have then is, well, I guess before we go there, to me one of the big appeals is the first focal plane, because sometimes I'll be honest, like I'll get lost in 6, even you know, if you're looking at widespread targets, because you can't get them all in the same view, and it would be nice to be able to dial that down a little bit and be able to see like a big array of long range targets, especially when we're talking about like Vortex Shooter Source, where they have like a lot of room to play with. So I think that's kind of cool. So reticles, what reticles are in the scope, and can you tell us anything interesting about them that we might want to know?
There's 2 reticles. Both they're what we call floating features, whereas in the 1 to 6 that everyone is used to, that's a wire reticle in the second focal plane. When they put a reticle on the first focal plane, they're essentially etching the front lens. of the erector unit. So, the erector stack, maybe that's a technical-ish term. Sounds good. But so it's floating in space essentially. So it's a different reticle. It's a circle dot, somewhat like an EOTech in the middle. There's kind of a horizontal stadia or kind of horizontal arrows indicating you're directing your eye towards the center. There's one that comes up from the bottom, and then there's dot matrix underneath, the Christmas tree style dot matrix. In one of them, it's mill based. So the EBR9 MRAD is mill based. Each dot is 1 mil, pretty sure. More targeted towards military applications or PRS type guys who just have to have that or think in those terms. And then the other one, the EBR9 BDC MOA, is a three. It's essentially we even called it the 3-gun reticle. It's the 200-yard zero BDC for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 100-yard holds, and then it has dots for 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 mile per hour crosswind or wind holds.
Oh, that sounds super
there's
fast.
Yeah, so there's a fan across the bottom. It's a BDC, but not in the sense that most folks would think. And then the reason I think that one's probably going to be the more popular of the two, especially outside of government sales, because if for no other reason, I would say there's probably a third less floating features in the BDC, so it's cleaner. There's less stuff when you're zoomed all the way up on the BDC than there is on the mill reticle. So I think that one's going to be more popular. And based on the success of the JM1 and the Gen2, the BDC lines up pretty close with just about everything. I mean, obviously, there's going to be all kinds of people who chime in with outliers, but man, it's pretty close to most, 55 to 77 grain, competition ammo, 14.5 to 18-inch barrels. Subtle differences, but it's pretty close. So I think that one's going to be more popular, and it translates over well in the heavy stuff too. Steve Fisher at Sentinel Concepts did some testing on 308s, and if you shoot the really heavy 308 bullets, you can get some deviation. But if you get back into like the 155s that they're using for a lot of more of the hunting bullets and the duty ammo type stuff, the ballistics start to line up again. That the dots work out to pretty reasonable or pretty even yardages. That makes some sense. So I think that BDC reticle is going to be super popular. There is a mill reticle available, and then some of the feedback we've gotten initially from some of the groups we were showing it to has some other reticle options in the works. Those aren't coming anytime soon, but there's probably going to be more reticles for it in the future as well.
Awesome. So I got a question for you, man. So like I'm kind of like MRAD dude. I've got MRAD all over my rifles and everything, and I like to just kind of keep everything the same. Is it time to switch reticles? Because I'm looking at these two sitting next to each other on the computer screen here, and the MOA reticle does look pretty damn useful and pretty damn simple.
I didn't want to like it. I didn't want to.
You want to be the MRAD guy too?
I want to be the MRAD guy too. When they gave us our first sample and it was like, which one do you want? Because you can only have one. I'm like, MRAD. And then we were going to a match. I think it was for shooter swords. Or the three of us kind of got the idea. It's like, well, we should all shoot the same reticle because we're going to shoot 14.5-inch barrels. And we were like, man, we would line up pretty close so we could use each other's dope. Well, that's a pretty good idea. So for that match, I got a BDC. And once I started shooting the BDC on anything that's not SBR length, I'm like, man, yeah, I'm not proud. This is a better choice. So I haven't actually done the math or done the homework on how it will line up the 11.5 gun. But for any non-NFA length barrel in 3-gun, I think it's the way.
Damn it.
I know, buddy.
I don't like change, man. I'm old.
I know. I mean, I know you don't like change. I'm not saying you're old. That would be mean.
Okay, next question. So we're looking at the reticles, and Riley's pointing to the top here. We've got some things that say like 3, 4, 5, and 6, and it's kind of like a reverse Christmas tree sort of thing, like a ladder. Is that like a ranging reticle, or what are we looking at there?
Yeah, they call it a ranging artifact or a ranging feature. It's essentially based off of something that comes out of the Horus reticles and the Tremor 3 developed for the military. They wanted a system where you could kind of hold it as point of reference, and using the human body or the average human torso, they wanted to be able to quickly estimate ranges. So essentially, I think it's based on a 40-inch torso. If you'd hold that bottom line on what would be somebody's belt line, where their head falls on the numbers tells you what your hold needs to be to hit, to hit a point of impact or a point blank shot, essentially.
Will you stand out in the field and let me try it?
Hey.
Maybe with sim rounds.
Okay.
Well, so the standard USPSA target is 30 inches tall.
Right. I think it's a little bit bigger than
that
target, because they say they made the caveat of not a USPSA target or not a IPSC.
No, I'm looking at
torso.
USPSA.
But they said yeah. So essentially, I guess that's the better visual. If it's a piece of steel, so hitting the steel anywhere makes the ding noise. That will give you an elevation hold that will be within the margin of error to hit that piece of steel.
Huh.
You're not necessarily going to drill it right in the mill.
That's pretty
but
cool.
It'll get you close enough at quick reference to hit it pretty close. And that was the idea of the Tremor, is, because that's a combat reticle, so they were trying to be like, there's a dude that popped up. Okay, he's that far away. 6 mils. That's kind of one of the features of the Tremor 3 that make it look like a kindergartner's art project, but
or like a Top Gun heads-up display.
Yeah, that's what makes it look that way, because there's like 3 features overlaid on top of each other, and if you don't know what they are, it's just like, wow. But if you know what they are, then it's like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not using that right now, so I just don't look at it,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, well,
that's what that thing
really
is
cool.
up there. Yeah, that's what it does. Whether it's useful or not, I don't know. I kind of think that was one that kind of shows up in like the focus groups of like, well, people think this is cool. So I think it'll sell more scopes than it will hit targets, but
so you
that's
didn't
what
use
it
it?
is. That's
You didn't really use it when
I
you
have never used it. Ever.
Okay.
No. So there's a lot of things that are like that you don't use because there's better tools available. I think it's like,
right.
When, not if, this shit hits the fan and you need to bring that one rifle with you, and you have a backpack and you don't want to bring your rangefinder.
Why would you not bring
then
a
rangefinder?
Then
Then it'll be useful.
I would definitely bring.
It's gonna be heavy. You don't want to carry it. You can't carry it.
I can.
It's the rangefinder or your child. Choose.
Rangefinder, because I don't have a child. So
rangefinder or Benelli, your dog.
Rangefinder.
Who is roughly the size of a rangefinder.
Yeah, rangefinder.
Oh man.
Rangefinder's more useful if like things are popping off.
Are you kidding me?
That my mom will take care of the dog. Like I don't have to personally do that. Like that's my mom's thing.
Wow.
Although I was really excited to see the dog when I got back after being gone for like a month.
Were you happy to see your rangefinder?
No, I haven't seen my rangefinder. I haven't picked up a gun since the weekend after Fort Benning.
Who are you?
Riley James Kropff. Oh my God, everybody knows my middle name now.
Sound like a serial killer.
That's okay.
T-shirt.
All right. Well, Amax, last thing I got for you here, and then we'll let you get back to selling scopes and making people happy. What's a question that we should ask our next guest on the phone?
Okay, so if the DeLorean were to like just come out of thin air and stop right in front of you at your first match, and you could tell that past you something give your, write a letter to you kind of thing, a piece of advice, what would you tell yourself at your first match that would save you a lot of pain along your 3-gun journey?
What's a DeLorean?
Oh my God.
Get off the air.
Off the air. See, it's catching on.
Turn his mic off.
Turn
his mic off.
No, but I'm
Yeah,
actually curious.
okay.
What's a DeLorean?
Back to the Future.
Sorry, we have muted Riley, and he's being kicked out of the place.
That's not fair. He really muted me.
I really muted him.
I got really upset. I'm tearing up again. I'm crying on the show for like the 4th time.
Oh my God, that's the 3rd time today.
Yeah. If you could get in the DeLorean and go back and give your new shooter self a piece of advice.
Have you ever seen Back to the Future?
Oh, yeah, with the old guy and the young guy.
And the car.
Yeah.
The car is the DeLorean.
Oh, okay.
That's
Gotta
the
get it
time
up to
machine.
85, Marty.
Wow, someone's seen it a couple of times.
Yeah, dude, that was like the greatest
I've actually seen it
movie
twice.
of Amax's childhood.
Hey, Max, what year were you born?
87.
We're not
Actually,
that
I don't
far
remember
apart.
the 80s, but I was there.
Amax was born after that movie was made.
As was I.
I think I remember seeing it the first time on Showtime. Do they still have Showtime? Is that still a thing? Riley, pay attention.
Sorry, I got distracted
taking
by
those scissors from
I
you.
got distracted by the scissors. No, I really like them. Did you mute me?
Scissor
again?
me.
Oh, okay, very good. I wasn't even asked a question. You act like I was distracted, but I wasn't asked anything.
I'm speaking to you through the microphone.
What did you say?
This whole thing is about you.
No, me and Amax aren't that far apart. He was born in 87. I was born in 2000. That's 13 years.
Yeah, that's not far apart at all.
Me and Amax are closer than you and Amax.
Nah, because I was born in 80 and Amax was born in 87.
Just kidding.
That's-
I'm not good at math.
Gotta work on those math flashcards, buddy.
Yeah, dude, we've had a rough day, man. Like, Texas public schools got a long way to go.
You should definitely listen to the podcast. Shot Show is great, by the way.
You must have missed No Child Left Behind.
Yeah.
I actually know that reference, so we're good. I'm good. We're good.
That was the thing that he heard on the news, and he's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's me.
high five, Dad.
Yeah,
They're not going to leave me behind anymore. They're just going to pass me until I get out of their way.
It's been a rough day. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
All right, so the other thing we learned is that Riley does not have anyone's phone number. So any suggestions on who we should call next? I think we got time for one more phone call.
And send me their number.
Who should you call next that would answer the phone?
It's 5 o'clock.
You
It's
should
5
call Virgil.
o'clock somewhere.
Oh, we should call Verge.
We could. I miss him.
We're
I have
totally
his
co-
number.
Do you have his number?
I text him all the
All
time,
right.
yeah.
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
It's
I
been
think he's
wonderful.
driving, so.
Adam Maxwell, everybody.
See you, Max.
Great to have you on the line. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
See you guys.
See you.
See you, pal. Oh, yeah. Verge is a good one.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
I'm
I
excited.
cannot wait to talk to Verge.
Are you ready to do it right now?
Yeah, let's fire it up,
All right.
baby.
3, 2, 1, blast off.
Remember, we're not live,
Yes, we are.
but you are on the air.
I'm gonna say we're live.
It's going to freak him out. Don't freak him out.
That's okay. I like seeing people freaked out.
It's
Me too.
Travis Vogel is who we're calling. Travis Vogel of Vortex Optics. Mother Goose.
Riley, you're on speakerphone, sunshine.
Oh, what you are too, man. You are live on the 3-Gun Show with Riley and Dave.
What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, what are you doing?
Not much. Living the dream. What are you doing?
We are on our way to Mammoth Sniper Challenge.
What?
That's fitting because we're talking about guns.
Who do you got there with you?
No way. I got Nick Laufenberg, our PRS sponsorship coordinator, and does all of those events with us.
Nick Laufenberg.
What's up,
we were
Nick?
just talking about you today. So we got
We were.
Travis Vogel and Nick Laufenberg. Welcome, guys.
How's it going, guys?
It's great to.
Dave, did you get a soundboard, dude?
I got a soundboard, baby.
I got a soundboard, baby.
And since Nick's on the podcast, we're going to need this one a lot.
It's delayed. That's pretty funny.
So you guys are going to shoot the Mammoth Sniper Challenge. So I've heard a little bit about this, but for folks at home, describe the adventure that you guys are about to have, you crazy bastards.
So first of all, we need to make sure you're aware we're not actually shooting it.
Oh, thank God.
Vortex is pilot bomb before the match. Yeah, I'm not crazy enough to do that, and I'm a little bit too pudgy. And a lot of guys that are doing it are
training for quite a while to get ready for it. So we're just going down there to support and be Vortex there.
Even better, you get to observe all the suffering and not take part in it. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I get to watch people in misery rather than being in misery. It's great.
I'm kind of emulating what the leadership in the Army feels like.
That's funny.
Good times. Well, guys, we were sitting around and we were kind of thinking like, oh, let's do another podcast. What should we do? And we just decided to call up a bunch of our friends and BS about whatever's coming up. But the big topic today, obviously, is that the Razor Gen 3 1-10 dropped, and we're all pumped about it.
Whoa.
Should we do the cheers again?
Yeah, we should do it. It's getting a really good reaction out of them.
Huge day. It's kind of crazy because this weekend, I started getting phone calls and questions and things like that from folks. And I'm glad to see it out there because it is one of those things that has been in development for some time. And I mean, I personally have been shooting one for a little while. And I'm glad to be able to share it with people, although I'm a little sad to lose my long-range advantage here.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because the development life has got to be hard for Mr. Vogel because, as anybody knows, Travis is one of the most honest and straightforward people you will ever meet. So when people started calling you this weekend, how'd you deal with that?
The first thing I did is I was like, this wasn't supposed to go out yet, right? And I double-checked on that one. And no, it wasn't indeed supposed to go out right away. But it happens. Things happen all the time. So I'm pretty excited, though, now that it has. And it's one of those things that we were planning on launching anyway this week. So a little bit early happened, especially with something so big, right? And so now that it is there, I'm so much more excited to be able to talk to people about it and share those experiences and really get guys excited about the capability that we now have on those long-range adventures that we get to go on for some of those longer matches and the harder matches and all the things where when your brain checks out and you still got to make that shot, now you've got an option.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting times. It's the simplicity of a first focal plane too, for when you just grab some magnification that's adequate and you don't have to think about like where all that stuff changes or anything, is going to appeal to a lot of people. One of the other things we've been talking about with a lot of our guests is the utility of the scope. It not only just a competition scope, not only just a 3-gun scope, but really like super versatile, going to be used all over the country for various reasons. And a lot of people are really excited about having one scope for all hunting purposes, which I think is kind of cool.
The one ring to rule them all, if you will, right?
Yeah. The one razor to rule them all.
But with that, you're on such a good point, man. It's one of those things that with using that optic and thinking about the applications, Wisconsin hunting, you don't need a ton of magnification, but you may end up having a deer under your tree stand, right?
Yeah.
Or for the guys that are shooting straight wall cartridges all across the country in the straight wall states, now you've got an option that you can actually reach out there and see way more than you may need, but at the same time, you can dial back and have a fully functional red dot style optic at those closer or deer drive folks. There's just so much flexibility in that optic that there's a lot of applications that I'm excited to see actually what people come up with that I had never thought of for it.
Yeah, for sure. And the other like big market that I keep hearing a lot about is law enforcement and military, like basically the driving force behind this scope. Because again, 3-gun, what we do is really fun, but it's very niche, and the bigger market is something like that. And it seems like everyone that we showed it to when we went to the North American Sniper Challenge was super pumped about that power in such a small little package.
You look at it like on an AR-10 or even, a 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10, right? You now have the capability to shoot that gun accurately to 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000 yards with the same optics that you're going to go through a door with. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And Riley's about to roll his eyes here because I've mentioned it every caller that we've had, but AMAC's first round hit at 1,000 yards from his PWS 308.
You even mentioned it on the podcast we did separate from this one.
This is the first time I've been able to mention it, man. That was March. I'm telling everybody.
It's impressive. I mean, Riley, it's impressive. Like, it's just straight up impressive to be able to take a 308 with a hold and hit a 1,000-yard target.
Psh, I did that with my
having
Spitfire.
To invent a hold.
You know what I think it is? I think Riley just doesn't want to be happy for AMAX.
No, I did that with my Spitfire and my 223, so I'm really not even. It's really unimpressive, to be honest with you.
Wow. Wow.
If I could do that with my Spitfire,
so
and my
the day Riley
223,
does that, you can put this on tape.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will gladly point out on a map where Alaska is for him.
Dang.
Man, I'm sorry this took such a dark turn, Nick. I didn't know these two were going to get into it like this.
You know what? Why don't you just come find me, Travis? Come find me, man. You're lucky this mic is holding me back right now. You're lucky.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Riley, the fact that a mic can hold you back is all I need to know.
Dave's also in the room, and so is Parker. So
there's a piece of masking tape on his chair, too, like a seatbelt. So.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But, no, that's awesome. I do want to see you shoot that, though, Riley, with a Spitfire. I really do.
Shoot what with the
1,000 yards?
Oh, I'm down to try it. I know for a fact I won't be able to do it.
Oh, come on! Not with that
really,
mindset.
You think I'm gonna hit?
Yes.
I can't even see 1,000 yards without magnification.
So you shouldn't have said you could have done it. I think we just learned a valuable lesson here.
No, how big is the target? If I'm trying to hit a house, I bet I could hit a house at 1,000 yards.
How about something the size of this table?
No, I won't be able to see that.
Oh, come on.
Maybe.
You can see that.
If it's something I can see, I will give it a shot. But do the dad joke. Do the dad joke.
Should we do it again a little louder?
Yeah. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'll give it a shot if I can see it.
Oh, come on.
I really don't think can you. Do you think you can hit it with a spit? I've hit a 1,000-yard shot with my Razor 1-6 and a 223.
Do you know of a man named Jerry Mitchellek?
Yeah.
He hit a balloon.
I was hoping you bring this up because I was going to.
Thank you. Yeah, he hit a balloon at 1,000 yards with a 9mm out of a freaking revolver. And what was it, a Vortex Venom on top?
Dude, I'm just a dumb welder. You think I can hit that shot?
I don't remember.
Do you know what Jerry did in his other life? Jerry was a welder, man.
You got me.
Jerry was a welder.
I literally have no...
You have no excuse.
Sometimes you just gotta stand on your hind two legs and shoot it like a man.
Boy, you turned a little red too.
I'm gonna cry again on the podcast.
You should.
I've cried so many times today. I keep bringing it up.
Again? How did I miss that one?
No, I've cried. I cried on my podcast I did with Dave earlier this morning. I cried a couple of times, and Dave called me out on it too. He was like, "Are you crying on the podcast?"
I was really sensitive about it, but yes, I did call him on it.
Yeah,
Riley, there's no crying in podcasts.
All right, next topic, guys. Mammoth Sniper Challenge. You guys are. Where is it being held this year?
That Fort Gordon in Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, cool. So you're gonna get a little warmth, a little reprieve from the Wisconsin weather. How many competitors are going to be down there?
Oh man, I don't remember how many is actually on the roster. Shoot, I don't remember. I think last year. You know, I don't even want to say because I can't remember. It being a team event, I know there's less right now than there was because there's a lot of competitors that are military based that end up having to leave the event.
Oh yeah,
this year. But
there's a little thing that happened recently.
Yeah, I think they sold out again this year though, so they obviously still a very popular event, an exciting event.
Well, Nick, you are like the long range guy. Consider you the long range guy over at Vortex Optics, and we've been doing this fun thing where we will ask our guests a question that our previous guest asked. So we just talked to our buddy Amax. So I'm going to ask you this. Think about your long-range shooting experience. If you're at the range, your very first match, and the DeLorean comes out of the sky, and you're there, you could tell yourself one. I told this backwards. You could tell yourself one thing at your first match that would change your shooting or save you a lot of pain. What would it be?
Don't pull the trigger unless you're on the target.
Wow, that sounds so simple.
Yet I can't execute it. I should tell that to myself now. I should write that on my hand.
A lot of people screw up pretty quick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times you go to a match and you'll be talking to people, their little after action report of their stage. And they're like, man, I missed some shots I really should have missed. Why'd you miss? Well, I think I pulled the trigger when I really shouldn't have. Well, don't do that. That's a big thing that people screw up. They get excited while they're on the clock, and they got a small target. They're aiming off a rickety barricade, and they're just not putting their fundamentals to practice. I really feel like there's some guys out there that teach some really good classes that really harp on the fundamentals, and it is a lost art. You see a lot of really good shooters or a lot of high-ranking shooters that you'll get in the middle of the heat of a match and they stop with their follow-through on the trigger or they just don't seem like to concentrate on their target the way they want to. And you can ask them after a stage, and they'll tell you exactly what they did wrong. It's just all about being on the clock and doing what you're supposed to do, but while it matters.
I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so Travis, you're up, buddy. Same one for you. If you could jump in the DeLorean and go back to your first match and give yourself any little piece of advice that would save you a lot of pain, what would it be?
Okay. So my simple one would be, don't try and run if the ground is not ideal to run in.
Oh.
Simply put, kind of adjust your movement speed for what is actually functional. I may have ended up on my butt this year at Fort Benning.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was a bit muddy, as everyone's well aware. But
Oh my God.
Nick, actually, that's the big one I've been working on, is exactly what Nick said. And a couple of the guys in the office and our marketing team are learning to shoot and things like that. And one of the biggest things that I've been teaching them is from the get-go when they ask good questions is never accept a sight picture that's not perfect or ideal, right? So when he said that, I was like, well, that's a really good point. But what my next biggest failure or growth point lately has been slowing down my movement to make sure that I'm at my spot where I want to be, and landing on my butt was a big point to make it pretty obvious to me.
Nice. Yeah, kind of doesn't really matter how fast you shoot the targets if you spend a lot of time on your butt on the stage.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where I'm like, okay, I'm on the ground, nothing hit the ground, my guns are good, and okay. I'm like, I think I could still keep shooting, but that process of thought took a little while. So
I'm okay,
That's
everybody.
fine.
I'm okay. It's just my pride.
yep, okay, everything's good. Still got my toes. Yep, we're good.
All right. Well, dudes, you guys have so thanks for answering our questions, and thanks for sharing the excitement of the release of the Vortex Razor Gen 3 1-10 with us. And you guys have a safe trip and everything. Enjoy Mammoth Sniper Challenge. Have a good time in Georgia, and we'll be talking to you boys soon.
Thanks for having us, Dave, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
I forgot to hang up. I was like,
Yep,
see ya. And
that
I was
one's
like,
you, buddy.
Why was it still there? I was like,
Why are they
oh,
still talking?
yeah. I don't know how to work my phone. My dad asked me how to hook up his phone to his truck. I was like, you don't know how to hook up your phone to your truck? Like, I feel like that's a pretty simple thing to do.
I don't know.
He got a
man.
new phone. He's like,
First time I
hooked
did
it up the last
it's kind
time.
of a pain.
Yeah. He has the
That
new
might just be his way of saying, like, son, we should spend some time together.
quality time.
It's
hooking.
QT, buddy. Come on,
He got
now.
the facial recognition phone, and he feels fancy.
Oh, wow. Look, I can open my phone just by looking at it. I don't have to use my fingers like you peasants.
I look so good. I look so good. My phone just opens when it sees my face.
Well, Riley, what'd you think of the first call-in experience?
That made me giddy. I was excited.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's cool. I think it's crazy that you don't need like a cord, like it just Bluetooth.
Yeah,
to the
Bluetooth
thing.
to it. That's
pretty
weird.
cool.
Yeah, we were using your phone.
And the only time it was kind of slow when we called Travis and Nick. It was,
Mhm.
it was like it was a little delayed, but everything else was like all the other calls were good.
Yeah. Well, they're on a road trip, so they
Yeah.
might be out in a place where don't get very good signal or something like that.
Yeah,
But I call it a success.
I call it a success too.
Yeah.
A whopping success.
I hope everyone else thinks it was fun.
I thought it was fun.
As long as we're happy, that's all that matters.
Right? We can make up our own facts and be happy on our own.
That's right.
We don't need anything. No, we don't really need the facts because we can make our own.
That's
So,
right. That's right. Well, as a reminder, if you want to pick up a Vortex Razor 1-10 yourself, 3gunshowproshop.com is where you can do that. We have our order in. We will be getting them on the way. So you want to get in line to get yours. So
I'm ordering 3, remember? So can we
Right.
do that? Yeah, we can do that after the show, right?
So you're the first position you can be in is 4th because we got one for Gene, one for you, one for Jennifer. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm just going to steal jeans, so we'll be good. We'll be good.
All right. Well, Riley, anything else we want to tell the audience before we go? Any final thoughts? Any good wrap-ups?
I thought you were going to say any good raps. I was like, you want me to spit some bars? I got you.
You got bars you want to spit?
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I'll thank people after I spit my bars. Ready?
Uh-oh.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm. I guess so.
I need a beat. There we go. His name is Dave. He goes by Amanda. He looks like Pow from Kung Fu Panda. Whoa, word. I couldn't stop laughing.
Is that one of those Disney Plus things I missed?
Yeah, that's not the first time I've seen it. I actually learned that in like the 4th grade. But anyways, I want to thank my mom and my dad for producing me into this world and being very supportive. And I want to thank all my sponsors. And I don't know what you just did, but he was trying to like motion something. But I want to thank my mom,
JP
and dad,
Enterprises,
and
CMC Triggers.
There we go. Yeah, I think that's what I was getting there. Slowly.
Vortex Optics.
Yes.
Big Country, Tactical, Grizzly Ears,
You've mentioned
and Dave Hartman.
all my sponsors. Are you my sponsor now?
I don't know. I'll give you hugs.
Okay. Is that can you be like my
Emotional support
yes,
sponsor.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. You got to put a sign on you that says "Do not pet."
I will.
All right.
You just got to take me on all the trips with you.
Okay. Can you wear a leash?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I?
I'm down. Can I? I am. All right. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming, dude. Always a great time. I think ETTS, we should mention them as well.
Yep,
They give you a ton of support.
ETT.
And Hayes Custom Guns. Forgot them.
Yeah. ETT.
And I think that's it.
ETTS.
Yeah,
I couldn't get the
ETTS.
right T's. I kept saying do you remember the Amy 556 thing?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was what I just went through just now. What is I kept saying Amy 55. Like I couldn't get her name. Amy 5556.
You totally ate an hour or a minute and 40 seconds of wrapping up the show.
It's okay. I spit some bars, but thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you for being here, buddy. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.